All right, let's pull back the curtain on a true master of the macabre, Edgar Allan Poe. But here's the thing, we're not just going to retell one of his spooky stories. No, we're going deeper. We're going to look at the actual architecture of his horror.
I mean, have you ever really thought about it? It's not just what happens in a great horror story, right? It's all about how the author makes it happen. How do they take simple words on a page and build an atmosphere so thick with dread you can practically taste it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
So, we're taking one of Poe's most famous stories, The Masque of the Red Death, and we're not just going to read it. We're going to treat it like an architect's blueprint. We're going to find the exact tools, the specific techniques he used to engineer that feeling of, absolute, inescapable doom.
And here's how we're going to do it. We're going to connect the story's big ideas to Poe's technical craft. We've got these 5 really powerful, concise truths, you could call them aphorisms, and for each one, we're going to match it with the exact literary device Poe used to bring that idea to terrifying life. It's the what meets the how.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about the foundation of this whole story. Prince Prospero's big and, let's be honest, fatally flawed plan to just cheat death.
This idea just perfectly nails the foolishness of what Prince Prospero is trying to do. Yeah, he builds this amazing, luxurious fortress, but it's really just a prison, isn't it? And that leads us straight to Poe's first big tool in his toolbox.
And that tool is situational irony. You know what that is, right? It's all about that gap between what you expect to happen and what actually happens. It's that cruel twist of fate where the very thing you do to stop a disaster is the thing that makes it happen.
And this is just a perfect example. Prospero's goal? Build an unbeatable fortress of safety. The actual result? He traps himself inside a tomb with the exact thing he was running from. See, by using situational irony, Poe isn't just writing a scary story. No, he's taking a shot at human arrogance, big time.
Okay, let's move inside this gilded cage. The party's going, there's music, there's dancing, but even with all that, there's this one thing in the room that just keeps disrupting everything. It's this constant reminder of the time they're all losing.
You can just imagine that sound, right? Hanging in the air, just this heavy, oppressive reminder that the clock is ticking. But here's the thing, this is not just any clock. Poe turns it into something way more sinister.
And how does he do it? With a cool little trick called personification. It's basically when you give human qualities to something that isn't human. You breathe life into an object, give it a personality.
And this is where Poe's genius really shines. He doesn't just say, the clock was loud. Nope, he gives it a voice and lungs. Think about that. With just those 2 words, he turns a piece of furniture into an actual character, an antagonist. It becomes this living, breathing threat that stops the party dead in its tracks and makes everyone think about, dying.
So this sense of structure isn't just about the clock. It's literally built into the walls of the Abbey. The way the place is laid out, it tells its own story.
This idea really connects that natural, totally unavoidable cycle of a day, sunrise to sunset, with the cycle of a human life. And what Poe does, which is so cool, is he builds that idea right into the architecture of the Abbey.
He uses something called a spatial allegory. Now, an allegory is just a story with a hidden meaning, right? Well, a spatial allegory means the physical space itself. The layout of the rooms, their colors, how you move through them, is what tells that hidden symbolic story.
So check this out. The 7 rooms are laid out from east to west, just like the sun's path. The journey starts in the blue room. That's like the dawn of life. And as you move through the rooms, you're basically moving through the stages of life until you get to the very last room in the west, the black room, the sunset, death. So the Abbey isn't just a building, it's a map of a human life. Pretty brilliant.
All right, so the stage is set, the clock is ticking away, and then the uninvited guest shows up. This is it. This is the moment where all that dread Poe has been so carefully building finally boils over.
This really gets to the heart of the story's climax. It doesn't matter who you are, how rich you are, how powerful you think you are, death comes for everyone. And Prince Prospero is about to learn that lesson the hard way.
Poe pulls this off with symbolism. That's just when you use one thing, a character, an object, to stand in for a much bigger abstract idea. And in this case, the big idea is mortality itself.
And look at the contrast here.
All the party guests are wearing masks to hide who they are, right? To pretend. But this terrifying figure, its mask, is its face. It's the literal face of the disease. As a symbol for death, it just completely ignores Prospero's royal status, proving that nobody, absolutely nobody, gets a pass from the laws of nature.
And that brings us to the end. The story's incredibly haunting conclusion. The confrontation is over, the prince has fallen, and then there's just silence. This last idea is such a perfect poetic summary of what happens. The party is officially over, and Poe uses one of the most powerful tools a writer has to make us feel it.
He just assaults our senses with this incredible visual imagery. He talks about blood-colored light, black velvet tapestries, the flickering flames. The whole story is buzzing with this chaotic energy and light. And then, suddenly, it just stops. That jarring shift from all that crazy movement to absolute dead silence, that's what makes the ending so unbelievably chilling.
So, when the flames go out, it's this powerful metaphor for life itself being extinguished. And with that final image, that's it. Darkness and decay have won. The Red Death's victory is absolute.
So when you break down Poe's work like this, you see that great horror isn't an accident. It's a craft. It's built piece by piece using very specific tools. And that leaves me with one final question for you. The next time you watch a movie, or binge a show, or read a book, try to look past just the plot. Ask yourself, what is the creator actually doing here? What are the invisible structures that are shaping the stories you love?